Item Number: YOS-2570. Object Class: Safe, Euclid Class up for consideration. Threat Level: Guarded. Containment Procedures: The area where YOS-2570 currently resides in is surrounded by a tall 12-meter steel wall, 34 meters by 34 meters, and it is to be staffed with MTF Unit 12, disciplinary actors, and 15 research personnel. YOS-2570 must not be used unless for testing purposes, and must prepare MTF Unit 12 in the case that a new YOS-2570-1 instance emerges. In the event that YOS-2570-1 emerges and attacks nearby personnel, it must be subdued with extreme force. If a YOS-2570-1 attempts to escape the area, it must be terminated. Description: YOS-2570 is located in an abandoned farmhouse in the outer reaches of Kansas. The item appears as a pack of unidentified plant seeds, tan and black in coloration, and 1 mm long. YOS-2570 shows no anomalous activity at first, until it is exposed to grains of soil, and a small gallon of water, 2 to 5 gallons. Once it has come into contact with these two elements, it will develop for approximately 2 to 6 hours. Instead of maturing into a plant, it will form into a small, nude human child, 85 centimeters in height. This member is designated as YOS-2570-1. It will first appear as a torso, and will slowly come out of the soil, with the bottom of the torso emerging, and then the limbs will form underneath the soil, and then the entirety of the head. Once the formation is completed, the YOS-2570-1 specimen will show movement and attempt to get out of the soil. Once it successfully pulls itself out of the soil, it will enter a docile state when organisms are nearby. It will enter in an aggressive state when an organism is nearby, and will attack by exposing them to highly toxic doses of flatulence, and also toxic remains of feces. Once the subject expires, the specimen will consume their body until it remains as a skeleton. Once it has finished consumption, it will attempt to find a source of water to be submerged in. Once it finds one and gets in the water, it will heavily contaminate the water by heavily defecating and produce more toxic flatulence. Once it has finished, it will enter into its docile state once again. There is a 20% chance that YOS-2570 will form more than one instance of YOS-2570-1, and will not activate its formation despite being provided with the appropriate elements. Addendum 2570-1. YOS-2570 came to the Foundation's attention when a farmer found a strange pack of plant seeds. The farmer may have tried out these seeds by giving the right materials to them, and let it grow for hours. The farmer came out of his barn 1 hour later, when he noticed something coming out of the soil. He was almost disgusted when he saw what he thought was buds coming out of the soil. The farmer seemingly ignored the exposed buds, and checked on his farm animals. After 3 hours, the farmer came to notice that his farm animals had significantly disappeared, and he went out to look for them. He was shocked when he saw that there was a small nude child feeding on one of his sheep, and it was reduced to a skeleton by the time the farmer noticed. The child retreated once it was done, and the farmer was hit with a foul odor when he attempted to follow the child. The child led him to one of his large lakes, and got into it, along with the other nude children. The farmer heard loud sounds of presumed flatulence, and the water turned a lighter brown. The children left the pool when they were finished. The farmer immediately retreated to his barn once they've turned around. The farmer called emergency services, and he told the person what he saw. The person who picked up the phone hung up, and contacted the Foundation soon after. MTF Unit 12 was dispatched and immediately terminated the nude children on site. The farmer was taken into Site 08 for questioning, and the farm was set up as a containment zone. Addendum 2570-2. The farmer was interviewed prior to containment of YOS-2570. The farmer had received post-traumatic stress disorder prior to viewing YOS-2570-1. Interviewer: Dr. Cini. Interviewed: Mr.
So, Mr. How are you feeling today? Not good. Those children were eating my animals.
We can tell, because we saw their skeletons still intact, but I assure you that you're going to be fine.
All right, ma'am. What do you need me for?
I want to know how you gained these seeds in the first place.
I don't know, they just seem to pop out of nowhere, and I can't remember the last time I got them.
So, are you saying that the seeds had appeared inside your barn randomly, without reason?
Yes, so I tried them because, why not? Then I came out an hour later, and I saw tiny butts all over my soil. It was gross, but I ignored it. But when I returned to my barn, things started to get worse.
Like what?
Little, naked kids are eating my animals, and they were a skeleton when I caught sight of them. I don't know if the kid sensed my presence, but he started to run off. I had to check what's up, so I did. They approached one of my large pools, and they started to...
Well, what did they do?
They started to poop on the pool. I can tell because the water turned brown. Turns out that 13 kids is enough to quickly change its color. Anyways, they've turned around and I retreated back to my barn to call authorities, and that's where you found me.
Well, that's one of the grossest stories I've ever heard. Anyways, that's all I need from you. We need to inject you with something in order to forget what you've experienced.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Addendum 2570-3. 30 YOS-2570 seeds have been set up for testing in order to see the limit of its reproduction. 0 hours and 1 second, the seeds have been placed and are now in the process of producing. 1:02 and 33 seconds, the back of the torso can be seen coming out of the soil. 3:21 and 43 seconds, as if right now, the limbs and the head have formed underneath. 3:44 and 12 seconds. 30 YOS-2570-1 specimens show signs of moving. 3:44 and 34 seconds, all specimens attempt to remove themselves off the soil. 3:45 and 2 seconds, all specimens fully emerged. 3:45 and 10 seconds, all specimens, except for the last 3, turn to look at the last 3 specimens. 3:45 and 23 seconds. All specimens start to attack the last 3, the 3 specimens attempt to fight back. 3:47 and 12 seconds, the 3 specimens were terminated, and are being consumed by their attackers. 3:56 and 45 seconds, all specimens finished their consumption of the targets. 3:56 and 55 seconds, all specimens approach one of the lakes. 3:57 and 34 seconds, all specimens enter the lake. 3:57 and 49 seconds, all specimens proceed to contaminate the lake is turning a bright brown. 4:01 and 45 seconds, all specimens cease their activity and leave the contaminated lake. 4:01 and 56 seconds, all specimens show no more activity.
Note: although this was supposed to be a log about how much YOS-2570 seeds it would take, still, that event was unexpected. I never expected that the YOS-2570-1 members would turn on the other 3, and they killed them in the process. I guess we now know the limit to what these seeds are supposed to be. Just produce less instances of YOS-2570-1, and they shouldn't exhibit a violent response to the number of specimens larger than that. We should save more of those seeds for later, and terminate all those instances of YOS-2570-1.
Incident 2570-1. Dr. placed 21 seeds of YOS-2570 into the soil, and took 3 to 4 hours to fully produce. All 21 instances of YOS-2570-1 approached the barn house, and instantly terminated all research personnel. MTF Unit 12 immediately arrived and terminated all instances. Dr. was given disciplinary action due to not acquiring permission from the Level 3 researchers for testing. Note: prior to the unknown number of instances of YOS-2570-1 and YOS-2570 itself, and how YOS-2570-1 specimens would react, Euclid class is under suggestion by the O7 Council, and testing will likely continue.